The Frog Prince, complete opening and closing. In days long past, when magic still danced through the world like morning mist, there lived a king who had 7 daughters, each more beautiful than the last. But the youngest princess was so lovely that even the sun, who had seen so many wonders, marveled whenever his rays touched her face. This youngest princess possessed a treasure beyond compare, a golden ball that gleamed like captured sunlight. It had been crafted by the royal goldsmith from the finest gold in the kingdom, polished until it shone brighter than the stars themselves. The princess cherished this ball above all her jewels and finery, for it had been her mother's parting gift before the queen passed into the eternal realm. Each day, when the heat of summer grew too strong, the princess would retreat to the cool shade of the ancient forest that bordered the palace grounds. There, beneath towering linden trees whose branches whispered secrets of ages past, lay a marble well so deep and dark that no one could see its bottom. The water within was crystal clear and cold as winter snow, fed by underground springs that had flowed since the world was young. It was here, on this particular afternoon when the air hung heavy with the perfume of blooming roses, that the princess came to play with her beloved golden ball. She would toss it high into the dappled sunlight filtering through the leaves, watching it catch fire like a tiny sun before catching it safely in her small hands. But on this fateful day, as swallows darted overhead and butterflies danced among the wildflowers, something went terribly wrong. The princess threw her golden ball higher than ever before, stretching her arms toward the sky with pure joy. The ball soared upward, spinning and gleaming, but as it fell, her eager hands missed their mark. With a splash that echoed through the silent forest like the tolling of a bell, the golden ball disappeared into the depths of the dark well. The princess rushed to the marble edge and peered down, her heart pounding like a frightened bird. All she could see was her own pale reflection staring back from the black water, and far below, the faint glimmer of gold sinking ever deeper into the abyss. "Oh, my precious ball," she cried, and tears began to flow like pearls down her cheeks. "If only I could dive to the very center of the earth, would gladly do so to retrieve you." Her sobs echoed in the forest, frightening away the birds and causing even the ancient trees to sway in sympathy. As her tears fell like rain into the well, a voice suddenly spoke from the depths, a voice both strange and oddly gentle. "Princess, why do you weep so bitterly? Your tears could move even a stone to pity." Startled, the princess looked around, wiping her eyes with her silk handkerchief. "Who speaks to me? Look into the well, dear princess." She leaned over the edge once more, and there, sitting upon a lily pad near the surface, was the most peculiar creature she had ever seen. It was a frog, but unlike any frog in the kingdom. His skin was a deep emerald green, mottled with darker spots, and though his form was that of a common frog, there was something in his large, golden eyes that seemed almost human. Almost wise. Almost sad. "You spoke to me?" she asked, hardly believing such a thing possible. "Indeed I did, beautiful princess. I saw your golden ball fall into my watery home, and I heard your heart breaking with the sound. Tell me, what would you give to have your treasure returned to you?" Closing moment, the transformation. Days had passed since the frog had come to live in the palace, and each day the princess found her disgust slowly melting away like snow in spring. Though his appearance remained as repulsive as ever, she began to notice the kindness in his voice, the wisdom in his words, and the gentle way he never complained despite her coldness toward him. On the third night, as moonlight streamed through the tall windows of her bedchamber, casting silver patterns on the marble floor, the princess found she could no longer bear the weight of her cruelty. The frog sat quietly on her pillow, as he had each night before, never demanding more than she had promised, never reproaching her for her obvious revulsion. "Dear frog," she whispered, her voice trembling with newfound understanding, "I have been so terribly unkind to you. You retrieved my precious ball when no one else could help me, you asked for nothing more than simple companionship, and yet I have treated you with disgust and contempt. Can you ever forgive me?" The frog's golden eyes seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. "Sweet princess, your recognition of kindness is all the forgiveness I could ever need." For the first time since they had met, the princess reached out her hand, not with reluctance or duty, but with genuine warmth. She gently stroked the frog's damp, cool head with her fingertip. You have been more true to your word than many princes I have known. You have shown me that nobility lies not in appearance, but in character. As her finger touched him with real affection, the most wondrous thing began to happen. A soft, golden light began to emanate from the frog's small form, growing brighter and brighter until the entire chamber was filled with radiance that seemed to sing with joy. The light swirled and danced around them both like living music, lifting the frog gently into the air. The princess watched in amazement as the humble creature began to change before her very eyes. His small form grew larger, his green skin shimmered and transformed, and his squat limbs stretched and strengthened. The light grew so brilliant that she had to shield her eyes with her hands. When the radiance finally faded and she could see clearly once more, there before her stood not a frog, but a prince more handsome than any in all the land. His hair was dark as midnight, his eyes still held that same golden warmth she had come to recognize, and he was dressed in royal robes of deep blue velvet embroidered with silver threads that caught the moonlight like stars. But it was not his beauty that took her breath away, it was the familiar kindness in his smile, the same gentle soul she had learned to cherish in the frog. "My dearest princess," said the prince, his voice now deep and melodious, yet still carrying that same gentle tone she had come to love, "I am Prince Heinrich of the neighboring kingdom. 3 years ago, a wicked sorceress cursed me to live as a frog until someone could see past my hideous appearance and offer me true friendship and genuine affection. Many had the chance to break the spell, but their hearts remained closed by prejudice and vanity." He knelt before her and took her hands in his. "But you, sweet princess, learned to look beyond the surface. Your kindness, though it came slowly, was real and pure. You have not only freed me from my curse, you have shown me what true nobility looks like." Tears of joy streamed down the princess's face as she realized that the companion she had learned to cherish had been a prince all along, not because of his royal blood or handsome face, but because of his noble heart. "Will you do me the honor," Prince Heinrich asked, his golden eyes shining with hope and love, "of becoming my wife? Together we can rule with the same kindness and wisdom that broke this curse." The princess, whose heart was now full of a love deeper than any she had ever imagined, smiled through her tears. "Yes, dear Heinrich. Yes, with all my heart." Their wedding was celebrated throughout both kingdoms with such joy and splendor that the very stars seemed to dance in the heavens. The golden ball, which had brought them together, was placed in a place of honor in their palace as a reminder that sometimes the most precious things in life come from the most unexpected places. And so they lived, ruling with compassion and wisdom, having learned that true beauty lies within the heart, that keeping one's promises is the foundation of honor, and that love based on character rather than appearance is the strongest magic of all. In the distant forest, the old well still stands, its waters clear and deep. And sometimes, on quiet evenings when the moon is full, travelers say they can hear the gentle sound of laughter carried on the wind, the eternal joy of two souls who found each other by looking beyond the surface to the truth that lies beneath.